Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, we talked about this machine in past episodes. This was the brand new Toyota SFR, and it's going to be shown off at the Tokyo Motor Show just in a couple of weeks. Some more rumors have floated out about this vehicle and the fact that it may have a 1.5 liter, normally aspirated inline four-cylinder that's chased by a 6-speed manual gearbox and all power going to the rear wheels, FR at the end of its name, standing for front engine rear wheel drive. Now, there's a lot of talk that this vehicle is going to be making, we thought, around 130 brake horsepower. That's pretty close. There's auto cars actually talking about this vehicle making 128 brake horsepower and 109 pounds-feet of torque. And then the most interesting thing, apparently because of the low weight that this thing's pulling around in the small engine, this vehicle could possibly get 55 miles to the gallon, which is usually impressive, and you get to have a lot of fun doing it too, so not a bad deal. Be interesting to get official numbers from Toyota coming up at the Tokyo Motor Show. Next up on the list, we talked about this machine in past episodes. This was a spy shot taken just inside Maranello, the factory at Ferrari. This vehicle was pounding around the Fiorano test track. A lot of people pointing towards this is going to become the brand new Ferrari F12 Speciale. Well, Ferrari has dropped the hammer on this machine. This is the brand new Ferrari F12 TDF, or Tour de France. Now, this particular machine is heavily revised front to rear. This vehicle's lost a fair amount of weight. It's got a ton of aero tweaks to this thing, talking about a lot of aero improvement, hundreds of pounds, almost 500 pounds of downforce gained at just a touch over 124 miles an hour. This vehicle's got a lot of body panel changes in, obviously taking in through that downforce revisions. Like I said, a lot of lightweight, and then the revisions are inside of the machine as well. Heavily revised transmission and heavily revised engine. Now, if you jump on over to the Facebook page, I've got a video up that Ferrari put out about just the intake section of that particular 6.3 liter normally aspirated V12 that now makes 769 brake horsepower and 519 pounds-feet of torque. Now, we talked about that transmission. That dual clutch transmission now has 6% lower gears in every gear ratio. As far as every gear up and down the lineup, they're talking about 30% quicker upshifts, 40% quicker downshifts, and that's going to propel this machine to 0 to 62 in just 2.9 seconds. Now, Ferrari has yet to release the top speed on this vehicle, but the fact that they changed the gear ratios in all 6 gears means that this thing will come down a tad, but a lot of people are still pointing towards this vehicle being able to do 200 miles an hour. The weight loss is pretty significant too, over 110 kilograms or 236 pounds out of this machine. Now, only 699 of these vehicles are going to be built, so it's going to have a special edition price tag coming along with it. Now, the fact that the F12 Berlinetta actually comes out at just a touch over $250,000 means that this thing's probably going to be well closer to $500,000. But again, Ferrari has yet to release that information, yet to release when this vehicle's coming out, other than a lot of people are pointing out the second quarter of 2016. But we'll wait and see what comes of that in the future. Next up on the list, BMW took off the wraps of the brand new BMW M2. Basically the 2 Series with the M Magic rubbed all over it. This vehicle really harkens back. A lot of people are pointing towards the old inline 6 M3 days about how simple and sublime this machine quite possibly is going to be to drive. That twin turbocharged inline 6-cylinder now makes 365 brake horsepower and 343 pounds-feet of torque. It does have an overboost option inside of it that will allow an extra 26 pounds of torque at your disposal anytime in the rev range. The vehicle will either come with a 6-speed dual-clutch transmission or a 6-speed manual transmission. 0 to 62 comes in 4.2 seconds in the dual-clutch and 4.4 in the manual itself. No pricing or availability on this BMW as of yet, and no word on where this vehicle is going to make its official debut quite possibly at LA, but we'll have to wait and see when it comes of that as well. And last up on the list, well, we haven't talked about Volkswagen in a while, and the weirdness of this whole situation, this whole scandal for their turbo diesel engines continues on. The fact that now, the day of the taping of this program, Volkswagen has now come out and released more information. In fact, more stuff on different diesel engines. They've admitted to the U.S. government where they've done a deal where they tried to trick the emission standards. Also, we're talking a lot about how much this is going to cost. Volkswagen's going to a lot of its suppliers, a lot of its partners, and trying to lower the cost of the parts coming into it because they're expecting a pretty big fine when it comes to this vehicle scandal. Talking somewhere around 40 billion euros is actually going to be spent on these fines and whatnot from all over the planet. So a heavy, heavy hit. Now, we've talked about Martin Winterkorn, the ex-head of Volkswagen, who still has tons of high-ranking board positions underneath the Volkswagen umbrella. Several different companies, including Porsche and Audi. Now, he's getting a lot of pressure from a lot of folks inside of the organization to step down from all board member activities and step down from them altogether. So this is a continuing situation. We'll continue on. We'll hear more about this soon. And then the weirdest deal that could ever come down, as far as I'm concerned, in this particular whole deal, involves this young lad. This is actor Leonardo DiCaprio, who has his own production company and is shopping around movie rights for the whole Volkswagen scandal. Yes, this is going to become a movie. So, bizarre. This situation, when it first came out, I just couldn't dream that this thing could even come out, and it's become way bigger of a story than I ever could even imagine, and it continues to have layers upon layers, and we'll keep you in tune when we hear any more. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.